You taking the intro on this one?
Yeah.
Come on.
So, welcome back to the Bodybuilding Prospect podcast. Happy New Year to everyone, as it has been. Well, a little bit late, I think, to well, it's the 8th now, damn. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you to everyone again who does choose to listen in to us. It was some cool things to go through today, all from the updates on ourselves and our own physical journeys. George coming away from a fat loss block into huge growing potential once again. Myself moving into a fat loss phase, the new year, what's going on with the Bodybuilding Prospect, the announcement that we've got for the Prospect Academy, our coaching, physique development, breezing. That's all to come for today.
Nice little reintroduction to the 2022. Kick things off with a nice one. So yeah, I mean, we might as well go through some little life updates, get them out of the way, done it early before we start the real good shit.
Roll it off, mate. Roll it off.
Well, I've been doing a nice little two block fat loss phase, which tied in quite nicely over the Christmas window. I'm not a fan of, I've done growth phases or bulking up over the Christmas window, and it leaves my mentality in a bit of a, fuck it, it's all right, I'm growing, fuck it, it's Christmas state. So I've become a fan of like dieting over Christmas because it keeps me very, not controlled, but, you know, limit your diet space, when your stomach space, when your diet shrinks, you're just not able to consume, even if you wanted to binge, like the ability just isn't as big. But also having the goal lingering in the background just kind of, it stops you from, you know, you're just a bit more cautious about what you do. It was nice because it meant that Christmas Day I was actually able to be with my family. I wasn't just sat there thinking, I've got 3 days just to scoff as much as possible. It was nicer to be in the moment. But yeah, so I've done 2 fat loss blocks. I started at the end of my growth phase at 113.4 kilos, just shy of 250. I think it was 249.2 pounds or something like that. Someone can correct me on the maths there. So it was something like that because I never quite made 250, which was a joke you kept fucking digging at. Yeah, I've dropped the first part of the block leading into Christmas. I've got down to like 97.4, and arguably it's the biggest I've been at this weight. You know, I haven't looked like this is new territory for me. It was a new setup in a fat loss phase, doing like a 4-week dieting, 1-week maintenance diet break with that cyclical approach. It was, you know, it was quite refreshing. I can see it being like a, you know, in a long-term diet deficit, it can be something I'll utilize all the time with myself, but more so with clients now. Taking that time to, all right, let's put another 15 weeks on this fat loss phase, but let's allow every 4 weeks to have 1 week of maintenance, 1 week of maintenance diet breaks. And it's, you know, you've only got 4 weeks of hard dieting to get done. Yeah. And then you've got 1 week of more food. Like, it's great. It makes the whole process so much more feasible and easier to tackle. You're not just looking at it going, oh, I've got 20 more weeks left. So yeah, I've tackled that, got through Christmas and landed, I think I'm 98.6 this morning. So it was weird. The Christmas weight held really nice. I had like some nice fullness in the physique, and, you know, fat loss was still occurring the whole time. I still managed to lose fat, even though the weight fluctuation of fluid and actual food volume shifted. I mean, I've held on to a nice bit of fullness, so I can't really complain, man. It's been probably the most productive fat loss phase I've had. Don't get me wrong, lipolytics and fat burners have been quite high. Like I said, new territory in every aspect so far. You know, every time I switch phase, it's pushing it a little bit harder, pushing it a little bit further. But yeah, ready to get back to growing now, and we've got some big new territory to tick off this time.
We're in 250, 260. It's watching your last improvement phase, watching you put on 25, 30 kilo of weight. You know, we know it's not all tissue, but you can't put on that much weight and not be that fat, because you wasn't fat, without being a supreme amount of muscle being there. So with your fat loss phase, how much tissue do you think you put on from, because when you came out of the last deficit, you weighed what exactly?
I think the last time I got, well, the leanest I got was 79 kilos.
Yeah.
I think it was somewhere around there. I was very, like, 6 foot tall, 79 kilo. I was a lanky streak of piss.
I mean, I'm talking bottom end of the bottom end. My spitball guess was 10 kilo tissue in a year.
Well, I've still held, I put 6.5 inches on my legs in the off season, and they're still holding 4.5 inches up now after 2 blocks from when I started. So there's 4.5 inches of solid tissue. Well, 4 inches of solid tissue has been added. Where the weight lands, I don't know, because I look not far off of that condition. When I started, I think I was 83 kilos, and I'm in better condition than I was then at 98-ish, 97, 98. So just taking that as a metric is a good 10 to 15 kilos.
Yeah. and that's being respectful, so no fucker out there can be like, oh, he claims he fucking gained this much muscle. You can't exactly know without going from identical fucking body fats, you know, with skin fold calipers or something like that, to have an accurate representation. You know, we have photos to go off, but that seeing the journey face to face, you can't deny supreme muscle gain in a year when it is in front of you. You know, every time I go around there and I hug him, I'm like, yeah, he's bigger. There's more muscle there.
The other thing to consider, like, when you do carry more muscle, the look, you know, the lean body mass body fat ratio is different, so you look leaner. Doesn't matter, you always look that little bit leaner. So I might not be leaner than I was at 83 when I started the first growth block, but it looks better because of the muscle that I've added. So like I'm saying, you can't be 100% sure. We can't say, yeah, he's 100% put 10 to 15 kilos on 30 pounds of muscle, because in reality, you just can't put a definitive answer to it. But it was quite a substantial amount done in that 10, 11 months.
I mean, when growing muscle tissue and you're enhancing the ratios of physique, for example, like when you put that physique update the other day, and I was like, why don't you put the front double up? Because it just goes bang, 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 exactly how physique, like you want it to look, you know, wide on the shoulders, wide on the lats, narrow on the waist, and then just legs to the kneecaps to the calves, you know, and it comes back out again. And like the more we go through this, the more that look is going to improve, and the more you add in muscle on a frame, it's just going to fill the gaps. And that where your physique's so much more even, it's so much more pleasing to look at. And it went to the point of, you know, when you go from skinny fat to lean, and you see, now it's impressive, you know, because everyone goes in that floating stage of, I'm dieted, and you get to that point where you're like, it really doesn't look that good. It's because, you know, you depleted the glycogen, you're flat, you're losing body fat, but you still have body fat, your muscles are depleted, and you're in that kind of topsy-turvy point of, because you've gone past I'm dropping loads of body fat right now and it's sick, I'm like, the scales are going down. You wait till you flatten out, you know, it's not gonna be fun. I've got that to come, and as always, when it is, but we've done it before, and the more you do it, you'll understand.
It's always those sticking points. It's them sticking points. It's the first 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks you just get flat and lose fluid, so you look awful. You think you look awful, and then you hit another sticking point somewhere else along the line where things start to slow down. You need that extra push, but leading into that, it's head games, isn't it? It's all head games.
It's all part of it. I mean, there's, for example, like over Christmas, I'm putting like a picture up on Instagram, and people are saying, oh, like, your last year's been awesome, like you've grown loads. It's like, yeah, I know I've grown loads, but like, because it's not 260, 270 pounds like some of the other top guys in the UK, it's not saying we're there, but that's where I strive to be, is want to be one of them. 100%. It's not impressive yet. It's not yet, because I'm looking at the scales, it's 235. You know, it's like it ain't there yet, but yes, it's good enough. But you know, it's nice to reflect on your own journey. But when your aspirations are quite high, it's easy to be like, oh yeah, and you kind of forget to give yourself a pat on the back for the progression you have done.
We had that conversation about a little bit of, you know, reflection and trying to shine on some positive light, because we're all guilty of being hard on ourselves, and you know, unless we hit the finish line, but the finish line's never there, right? You sit there and say, oh well, you're not going to be particularly amazingly happy until you're 270, but when you get there, you're then going to be going, yeah, but I want to be 300. Yeah, but you know, there's always something that's, so you're never going to quite be there. So we had a good chat, like I said, trying to like reflect on the year and give each other some, you know, some positivity, and say, you know, you have actually done quite a lot. If you can replicate this year every year, then it will be something special in 5 years, you know. But just focus on like the year or the month, or even better, just the day to day.
Yeah.
What's new for you, though?
What's new with me? Of course, you know what's going on, but it's nice obviously to update everyone. So physique wise, so over the last year, I've been in my progression off season since the end of October 2020. Did my first year taking it out properly, and I went from about 100. I think I was about 195. I think 190 around on stage 2020, and I got up to 240. Which is the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Bear in mind the heaviest before the year that I only ever got to my off season as a fat 220, and then so yes, there was plenty of body fat there. Let's be real here. Like when you look at the physique and how I've been growing. And then we went to a fat loss phase from there, which don't get me wrong, I struggled to go in my head what was the biggest off season I was ever going to have. And I was like, hang on, I'm 6 months in, I've got to do a fat loss phase. Like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't see it coming, didn't know I needed it. I just thought I was going to be ballooning for the year. But unfortunately, reality of bodybuilding, the more body fat you put on, ladies and gentlemen, you will have to pull it off. It will have to come off at some point. So you have to pull it off in stages and you have to respect that.
There's a point where it's diminishing to the growth phase, isn't it? It's now not productive. It's slowing you down. It's making your body less efficient.
Your headspace goes a bit sideways because you look like shit. You're huge, but you're like, it's just not annoying. You can't do a photo shoot in 12 weeks. You're never going to get there. It's not going to happen. You're not within touch and distance of being lean. You're just an absolute unit. Yeah, you're strong as fuck. Yeah, you're a big guy and you're buying new clothes and all that sort of stuff. But if a cleanup's needed, a cleanup's needed. So we went from about 240, 242 to what is it, about 220? Yeah, just under 100 kilo. And then back into progression phase, got up to 230, 235. Now we're going into another cleanup because the year is pushing on again. As I'm looking at another year and off season now, I'm probably not going to compete in 2022, which is nice because I even had Jace message me yesterday seeing if I was going to compete this year. And it's like, I'm not bodybuilder size. Yes, I could compete as a light heavy and I'd probably do all right, but I don't want to be a light heavyweight bodybuilder. I want to be a heavyweight. Super is like within the realms when I'm late 20s, but for now, I'd like to be a heavyweight bodybuilder. Then you're a bodybuilder in my eyes. Yes, there are some phenomenal light heavy guys, but they're a lot shorter than I am. I'm 5'9", yep. So I do have to be, in my eyes, I've followed bodybuilding, been a fan for a lot of years now. I want to be a heavyweight, and that is when you're within touch and distance of becoming successful in the game and maybe well known. But cleanup phase now for 2 blocks. You're looking at about 10 to 12 weeks, fat loss. Calories have gone down to poverty portions very quickly. As I said to George, I like to say that phrase. But it's working. The initial fluid drop off rapid at the minute. I'm dropping anywhere from 0.5 to 0.7 for the last few days. That initial drop off is huge. It's not dropping too much too quickly at this point. I don't think you can make that call. It's simply you have to assess as the weekly whole, how much has my body weight dropped, what's the averages, and then obviously Joe takes the reins and he makes the choice from there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's another exciting year coming up then. Because realistically, what you're going to do 12 weeks, 10, 12 weeks of fat loss, then you're going to come out the other
100%
side.
Fat loss. 100% fat loss.
No diet breaks?
No, there won't. I don't think it's going to happen. It all depends what Joe says, how much things come off. I mean, one thing that's been exciting this year is, as an individual, I'm not a heavy eater. I can eat around 4,000 calories, do 3 to 4 working sets in the gym, moderate drug load, and I will grow muscle. I'm quite fortunate on that front. So when you're being pushed, it is, it's new territory to go to. And I'm at a point now where I can eat a certain amount of calories. For example, I can easily put in like 3,000, maybe 2,800 as a maintenance. That has never been seen before. If I was to eat that amount normally, I'd probably gain body fat. But because I'm larger now, I carry more tissue, I carry more weight, that the energy is being used, I can get away with eating more, to the point where it got to a point where I'm having to put 1,000 calories of quote unquote junk just to get things in. Macros weren't great. And Joe was like, yeah, it's not ideal, but if you needed calories, then yeah. But, I got into a bad habit, honestly, of doing it at least 2 or 3 days of the week where I've had to do that. And that is where the spiral, as George knows, of the under eating, because you're eating your clean food, but your diet ends up becoming 50, maybe even 40% of off-plan sort of food just to get calories in. That's not optimal physique development, is it? So
not not by that definition anyway, not optimal at all. But you have to take into consideration the what's going on at the time, life, the world around you. as well, and that we can't all be, on it 100% all the time. There are going to be things that crop up and mess around with that per se, but it's learning curves. It's learning curves. You can eat more food. You can push yourself harder because you've watched me do it.
That's it. You can't. For example, I've been on the phone with George, and he was not bedridden, but he was homebound, ill.
COVID.
Yeah, still. I didn't realize you had COVID that time. Pushing food in, still. And I was kicking myself. I was like, why can't I? And he just said, he was like, you can. You just choose not to. Like, regardless of what your mindset is of, I'm struggling, I don't really want to eat, yada, yada, you are optionally sitting there choosing that you do not want to eat the food. And deep down, is that a day where you have moved forward? Black and white, no. Because you could have moved forward more. For example, in my deload over Christmas, I underate. I actually lost weight. I lost 1.5 kilos. So point blank, did I take advantage of my deload? No. Have to put my hands up now on the reflection stage of this, moving forward. Didn't. Could I have gained more tissue? Yes, that's the whole point of the deload. Was it taken advantage of? No. These are the things, still as we go through. Yeah, we're coaches, and yeah, we live the life day in, day out. Do have struggles every now and then, do have a few, not boundaries to participation, but things don't always go as well as you want.
Mistakes get made along the way, man. That's as it is. But unless you don't take L's, they're not losses, they're lessons. That's the mindset switch. Is it? Yeah, it's happened, but what not to do next time you get into this situation, because you don't want to waste a day, you don't want to waste a week. It's as long as you've taken something from it and you can adapt that next time, then it's not a bad thing. Like look at me, the start of your kind of blow up originally, back when we was training at LRF. I tried doing the same shit. I tried, eating off plan, chilling, doing what I wanted, being half-assed. Didn't wash. I realized straight away that he's leaving me in the dust. And it sucks to be me, because I have to do 100% or I can't grow. So I switched it on. That's what I realized, learned from it. And it's turned into this.
It's when you're being told that you had genetics to do well and do well, it is very easy. And I point blank honestly reflected on it before and said, yeah, but I know I can move forward by doing a little bit less. It's not like I'm optionally choosing to be a lazy ass. But then again, black and white, if you're going to black and white it, you kind of are, because you're choosing not to. And it is extremely hard. But like we've been told numerous times, there are people with better genetics than you, and there are people with better genetics who work harder than you. When you stand next to them competing, they will be extremely thankful that you missed that meal that day, because guess what? Joe didn't, as in the guy you stand next to, he didn't. And the guy next to him, did he do it? And chances are, if you don't want to kick yourself in the ass one day and be like, yeah, he won because he missed 0 meals and I missed about 12 throughout the last few weeks. You know what I mean?
But when the level that we're aspiring to, that will make a difference. That 1 meal will make a difference, because there's some psychotic fucker out there who doesn't realize he's got genetically gifted putting in twice the work that we are. So there's always an upgrade. There's always a level up. You're never doing enough. You can always do more. And when you look at the pros like Ian Valier and James Hollingshead, who haven't missed a meal in like God knows how many years. Yeah, they take, I call them sabbaticals, but they take life like weeks away and stuff on holidays. But in the grand scheme of bodybuilding, the last however many years, they've not missed a single meal. They've not missed a single training session. Yeah, they don't have cheat meals. They just eat their food because that's that level. That's the elite. But in reality,
go on.
If you want to be there, you got to act like it now. What's the comment? If you want to be a professional bodybuilder, the work doesn't start when you become one. You have to pretend and act like you are one the whole time you're an amateur to achieve it.
And not by any means, when people listen to this, that we're trying to compare ourselves to these individuals, but when you aspire to be great and be good, and when you put so much time, effort in your life into this, and we miss out on a lot of things that I can't even count the amount of social events I've missed out on over the last few years, purely because of being on prep. Like, I was on prep 3 years straight, not 3 years continuously dieting, but 3 years of competing back to back. God damn. And you stop getting invited to places because they know the answer, and that is one of the things that I accepted quite long actually. And so it took me a while to get used to it, is that, yeah, mate, you can't really live that life and do this. It is hard to swallow. There is a balance to be had. And, the way to get around things like with social events and dinners is macro tracking. If you really want to be on point, like example I can give, it was like comparison against the pros. Ian Valier was on a trip and someone gave him like all a cookie and everyone was eating them and he was like, yeah, I'll pose for a picture with it, but I'm not going to eat it. Like, it's like that decision. That's just an insight of what that guy is like. You know, I don't know him by any means or anything. I haven't seen him on the podcast, but decisions like it's so easy to say no. It's just continuously doing it, and that's just one little snippet of how I guess he lives.
Yeah. But like I said, to be at that level, they kind of, you know, we're not comparing ourselves to them, but they are role models. They're people that we look at and think, you know, that, you know, the dream. Yeah. Everyone chasing bodybuilding, you know, that is the dream, you know, to be like that level in some way, to some degree. Obviously, people have different goals, obviously, but for majority of bodybuilders, you know, it's at the top. You know, that is the be all and end all, and that's what they do to be there, and that's what they've done to get there. And it's not a case of comparing, it's a case of, well, it's learning, it's looking at what they do and trying to learn and adapt it to ourselves to push ourselves further.
And what's extremely important to us is we are now educators in this realm. Yes, we're not top dogs by any means yet, but you cannot tell someone in your own right mind to do something if you're not willing to do it yourself. Hence why I competed first. I got bigger than most people first. I dug out first. I got it done. I experienced, then got into the realm. And someone can't argue with you. It's like, mate, I've done it. I know what it is. Like this training style, I've done it. Did it for 2 years. I've done this. I did that for a year. I did it. I tried this method. Let me teach you the fine tuning, you know, tighten the bolts is what I say to my guys on how to work things out. Right. It's your girlfriend's birthday. Right. It only happens once a year. Go out for your meal. George's mind might be different to this. I'd be like, keep a close eye on things. You know, don't go too crazy. I know George would be macro track motherfucker. Like,
if he's in a fat loss phase and if he's got the calorie allowance to macro track it, feel free. If he ain't, that's tough shit. You can celebrate the birthday when you're done. It's one day. What's the difference? Sorry, that's my growth phase. Like, completely different. Just go and enjoy it, but it depends on the goal.
Like my 2019 prep, first year I got with my girlfriend, she had a belated birthday due to my competition. Yeah, we had her birthday and we went to the zoo that day. I was, I think, how many weeks out? I was 2.5 weeks out of 2019. Oh my, I think I told George a story about this. So there's a zoo near us and there's a minibus or a giant like safari minibus that takes you around the zoo. And it's on a hill, this zoo. It's a big ass hill, Portland. And we went down to the bottom. We went, she was like, I want to do some walking around. I was like, yeah, okay. We'll walk the rest. We'll get off the bus. I had no idea how steep these hills were. And when you're 2.5 weeks out, you're already smashing an hour and 45 minutes cardio on 1,700 calories. It's not fun. I will be honest. And I had to take breaks walking up this hill. And I don't get me wrong, that is where the personal side gets in of, I was feeling bad that, am I getting in the way of her birthday here? You know, and that's a reality insight to, you know, the bodybuilding lifestyle is very thankful for what I have because she accepted it. She was happy because she had 2 birthdays. You know, it was only, you know, it's 2.5 weeks, you know, where I did the show and then we went away and it was great. And very thankful that I have that because if she could easily be like, dude, like, why can't you? You know, that is a common question with most people dieting and people listening probably have had this when you're dieting. Why can't you have this? Like, I'm in a deficit now. My girlfriend this morning's having Nutella in a wrap, you know, and she's got a bit on the knife and she went to put it in my face, like only jokingly because she knows I won't have it. But I'm like, nah, like you just know. So what I do is she'll put it in her mouth, she'll eat it, and then I kiss her so I get to taste it. that is you may laugh. I did that through my preps like a few times. Like, she'd have a Haribo and I'd kiss her just so I could taste it.
Oh my good God, man.
Prep hack. That is a prep hack.
God.
So going on to
let's get into our personal lives are a bit boring. It's bodybuilding, isn't it? It's just eating meals, training, doing something, getting bigger or getting smaller, one of the two. But
riding motorbikes, maybe get a few edges here and there.
the interesting part of the podcast. So, out of this new setup, the Bodybuilding Prospect podcast, me and Al, we've been toying with this idea for best part of 6 months, a year. It's been a long time talking. We never really finalized or decided to get into the nitty gritty of it, but we knew it was something we wanted to venture out into. And as of the last 3 months, we've been trying to, like I said, tighten the bolts. We've been trying to finalize everything, get things worked out, set up a lot of background work, and we finally come to it where the Bodybuilding Prospect Academy is now materialized. And I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
So am I.
And yeah, we just wanted to give you guys a little insight into what our aspirations are for where we see this going, and a little bit about the challenge we've got coming up as an introductory kind of invitement into the academy to get some people interested, get people going, and give you a little taster of what the academy will offer.
So the idea behind the Bodybuilding Prospect Academy is we don't know anyone else who offers this. We know so what we're doing is it's dual coaching together, essentially, with an education platform to help others, athletes, coaches, normal day-to-day people, lifestyle, to better their knowledge of physique development overall from all realms, from mindset, how to go about things, diet, training, nutrition, performance enhancements. It is all under one roof with two individuals who specialize in certain areas under that. And what's so great is, like we said in our video, if you haven't seen it on Instagram, is where one person lacks, the other will thrive, or the other will be better. And we're on our own journeys. We invest a lot of time, money, and effort into our own endeavors to bettering ourselves. Now we're at a chance where we can pass that on. And it is nervous and is a bit, not worrying, but when you put yourself out there, it is very easy to get backlash from people. Be like, oh, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that sort of thing? But when you have true belief in yourself, like, we can get this done. And I was nervous for so long, thinking, does George actually want to do this with me? I don't want to force him into it. And then he was like, yeah, but I was worried you didn't want to do it with me. And it's like, then all of a sudden it comes together. It's now to stay, and it's just a level.
The energy in the circle is good. So yeah, the unique thing about this, obviously, there is other educational platforms out there. There are some very good ones. But the thing that we try to create as our own little niche is the dual coaching aspect, right? So quite often or not, when you look at like coaching collaborations or educational services, everyone will have, coaches within the setup that you work with individually, right? And for some reason, we don't seem to see any coming at it from a dual coaching perspective. So i.e. the same client or the same mentee educated and coached by two rather than one. Strongly, I do believe that two minds is better than one, because as Alex said, the principle is where one lacks, the other will thrive, and we can combine our knowledge together to essentially get even better results. So yeah, of course, there is that educational academy aspect to the Bodybuilding Prospect Academy, and I do want to push it out as an educational platform, but solely on a more of a bespoke service there, that people will be, we'll go through challenges throughout the year. There will be a multitude of them. And from these challenges, there will be people that either impress us, not necessarily from, potential as an athlete or potential within their physique, but potential as individuals chasing knowledge and wanting to learn and better themselves. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the best athlete in the world, but you just have to show willing to want to progress, and give them the opportunity to enroll at the academy. And we've given them a taster during the challenges of what the combo of us coaching together can bring. If it suits and you enjoy it and you like the process, and you get offered the space, you can be enrolled full time, and we will become your coaches.
It is exciting because no one's done this to our knowledge.
I can see why.
We have quite a unique relationship, me and George, we enjoy certain parts of bodybuilding more than others on both sides. And why not put it together? That's it. So why not shoot your shot? We have our own coaching businesses, and this could be freaking awesome, point blank.
Like I said, the reason I see it not working, or in the past, right, with people that may have tried this, because I don't know if people have, is them clashing. And there's not a time in the moment that me and Al have known each other, except for when I was I was very, very hungry, depleted, and on a lot of trend that I shouldn't have been taking. Where we did clash, that was literally one day where we clashed on a Fit Visuals shoot, and that's it. Every other time since the time we've known each other, it's always just been namaste. It's always been energy good. We only accentuate each other. You know, it's just I can't see a better situation or this not working. But like I said, when people come together, more often than not, two chiefs clash. You know, there's always, you know, too many chiefs and not enough Indians is the thing my dad used to say, right?
Yeah.
And I can see where people clash, but I just, you know, when we was trying to finalize things and we were going through the nitty gritty of how this is going to work, the systems we need in place, everything flowed so smoothly that I just can't see that being a thing. You know, if there is anything that needs resolving, we talk, we get things settled way before, you know.
Yeah. Which has never even come to that, even that sort of borderline of, things are a bit rocky, because when it comes to making a decision, like even on the coaching aspect, like we've gone through them, like I'm not saying I'm stuck on this, but like, what's your thoughts on me going for this? And George will be like, take a look at this. Evidence backs it up here, X, Y, and Z. There's fact there behind it that backs that up, which solidifies the view that was originally there. Like, I'm thinking about doing this, right? Can we back it up with evidence? Yes, we can. Pursue it that way, trial it out, see how it goes. 99% of the time it's going to work because there is evidence to back that up. And that is where George comes in and enhances my own beliefs and views, because the evidence way, some people hate upon it. Not they hate upon it because it's too technical, but maybe they hate upon it because it is too technical and they can't be asked really to look into it. But sometimes you cannot deny facts. Simple as that.
Yeah, the whole experience and evidence based. I don't know why they needed to split like a demeanor of coaching up. Like you're either one or the other. Like it surely is a combination of the two that is what makes a good coach. You know, it's having the knowledge there, understanding the why, and then applying it practically with experience, and then formulating the combination of the two. Surely it's not, you're not one or the other. You know.
Yeah.
But again, I am slightly more one way. Alex is slightly more the other way, and we perfectly accentuate each other. It's the yin and yang. It works. And it, you know, even from a pride and a maturity aspect, I think both of us respect each other enough and are mature enough to make this work. And I think that's the reason why it's not worked with anyone in the past and why we will make it succeed.
And the best thing about what the academy is going to offer is, if you're working with the pair of us with the academy over the 16-week period, you get the choice for your last 4 weeks after the 12-week period. And I threw a lot of numbers there. So you do 12 weeks with both of us. Then that last 4-week stretch, you get to choose. You can choose, I guess, the option we would agree on now. If they want to continue with both of us, I'm sure we'd both be down for that. Or you can choose to go the separate way with the coach of your choice. And we'd have to agree, obviously, beforehand, if that individual, myself or George, wanted to do that, because it is a back and forth thing. We're not here to just take your money. We are here to invest our time and knowledge into individuals. And that's the way it's going to be.
So yeah, leading on to the challenge there that Alex dipped into. So the Bodybuilding Prospect Academy challenge is essentially a 16-week, not transformation challenge, to, I guess it is in an essence, but we want it to be a bit more than just about getting a result, which is why there's a lot of other factors that go into this that you're going to get for what you pay for. So I said the first 12 weeks you are coached by both of us simultaneously, and then in the last 4 weeks you're given the option of whether you stay with the dual coaching, or if it wasn't to your liking, which again, you know, we're not going to be everyone's cup of tea together, right? We wanted to give the option for them, those people that don't necessarily like the dual combo coaching, to then choose which one of their mentors they may have vibed with better, just get on with more, or just gravitate towards, so they can go their separate ways and say, no, I'd rather be coached by Alex or George, and give them the option. So there is no one just tossed aside, oh, if it doesn't work for you, then go away. No, it's not like that. We're here to cater for as many as possible and try and create a service that it can cater for everyone to a degree. So yeah, alongside the 16 weeks, there will be bi-weekly calls where me and Al will take the lead. Originally, it will be set up with specific topics you know, from bi-weekly call to bi-weekly call, where we'll start with an introduction into, you know, the body's processes, coaching, fat loss phases, growth phases, etc. And we will start to specialize as the time goes on, and give the mentees and give the guys enrolled on the Academy Challenge an opportunity to see what lies ahead if they are given the opportunity to become a full-time member of the Bodybuilding Prospect Academy. You know, the educational benefits, the support network, and the mechanisms that we have in place as, you know, coaches individually and together collaboratively. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. Very, very exciting.
So going on to, what's the investment cost of the Bodybuilding Prospects Academy 16-week challenge initial? It will be £600 overall for the 4 months. Bear in mind that is 4 months, roughly 16 weeks. Which will need a £200 deposit down payment beforehand. We don't expect to take all the money up front, of course. So that'll be the first £200 as a down payment to secure your place. And then on the initial start, whenever the start date will be and we agree, will be the first £100, and that'll be £100 per month after that. Of course, the coaching investment goes, it is an investment into you, it's an investment into yourself and into what this is going to offer you. We, by any means, are not, you know, doing this for a money aspect or anything like that. Yeah, of course, you earn it as a business, but our coaching services alone.
I was going to say, bearing in mind that my coaching services alone monthly cost more than that.
Yeah.
So I'm not, like I said to Alex, this is purely a love for what we do and a love for the bodybuilding prospect. And what I see as an investment for the future to try and help develop a few individuals into becoming great.
And as George knows, this is one of the worst parts of coaching that I hate to talk about, is the financial aspect of taking money from people, because I see it as that, you know, as someone paying their hard-earned money to work with you. You know, we've invested a lot of money in our coaching, a shit ton, to be exact. And it is worth what it's worth, but I still have that thing of thinking, man, these people invest in my money, but you are worth it. You know, it's the self-belief that I keep getting told by George that the amount of times your coaching service is too cheap, it is too cheap, it is too cheap. How much you value your time, then start making the money worth it.
Again, like I said, when coming to any challenge or any investment in coaching, you need to look at it from this is not a cost, right? Because you're not just paying for a service here, right? Because you would just receive a product of some kind and you would go away from it, and that would be that. This is a chance to develop and accumulate over time. So this is gonna grow exponentially, right? And we're talking about you here. You're the investment. So by you paying for this product every month, or, you know, monthly coaching challenges, whatever it is, see that this isn't an expense. This is an investment, because from this, you are getting knowledge, you are getting education, you are getting progress within your physique, trying to achieve your goals, you know, even if it's milestones within sporting activities, any competitive sport, etc., boxing, track and field, competitive bodybuilding, of course, you know, this is an investment. And when you change that mindset away from, what is, you know, I've had conversations with potential clients in the past, where they've come to me and they've gone, hey, but I just want to know how much you cost. I'm like, well, that's the wrong question to be asking. You should be asking, what can I get from this service? You know, what can you do for me for that investment? But it's changing that mindset. Whenever you look at this, it has to be seen as what can I get out of this?
Yeah. It's just an example. I invest £1,000 a month easy into bodybuilding per month.
Easy.
Coaching, food, investment, performance enhancements, supplements, everything. It isn't cheap by any means, but I know it's an investment that's going to make me great. Have that belief. Have to have that. Otherwise, I'll be rolling around in an M4 right now. You know, that's the car payment right there.
Literally.
I hope when people seeing that transfer of mindset of someone saying it was worth it, you know, it has been an amazing experience. When you talk to someone from the start, the first moment you have that consult call with them, you know, they're talking about, you know, the money and how much it costs, and the 16, 12 week down the line, a few months down the line, year down the line, you just know, like, they pay that, they'd probably pay double for that, for what they've achieved with their physique, with their knowledge, what they passed on to help their own friends, their own clients, their family members. You can't really put a price on it. But all I can say is investing into what we do has been the best thing that I ever did, because it has given me something to create that other people are going to be able to create.
Exactly. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, it's a chance to pass on some of the knowledge we've accumulated over the last few years. It's a chance to give some knowledge and some experience and just give something back, give something back to what we love. And that is bodybuilding, that is coaching, that is helping people. So like I said, this whole new project here at the Bodybuilding Prospect Academy is purely out of passion rather than anything else. It's a passion to want to, it's the same passion as what started, I know I'm sure I can speak for Alex on this, what that passion that started us coaching in the first place. And it's that willingness to help people. Just the ladder has moved up now. We want to help people invest into themselves from an educational aspect, as well as just within their physique development. Something to lead on to from the end of the challenge there. We did touch on it a little bit. Going on to, what happens at the end of the challenge. So obviously, we are going to be quite, this is, the Bodybuilding Prospect Academy is going to be a bespoke service here, right? And we are going to be very, not picky, but there is a certain, someone has to show us qualities within themselves. It's not necessarily like a total criteria of one thing we're looking for, but we just got to see the qualities that we think we can help develop in the academy. So we are going to be choosing a select few individuals at the end of the challenge, or not even choosing, giving them the option of whether they want to enroll full time with us. Okay. And that obviously will be a monthly cost. That will be another investment for them, but hopefully the individuals we choose will have seen the investment from the challenge and then see how the academy can then help them to carry on that journey and keep progressing. For those that are left, the option then relies of, if you want to continue working with us, as I said, we both still have our coaching businesses, and the mentor that you resonate with better, get on with, or just connect with, that is still an option, providing they have coaching spaces available. So we're not just taking you on the challenge and then leaving you in the dust, right? The choice is there and the option is there for whoever wants to carry on further with their physique development. It doesn't have to just be with the academy, as I said, because that is going to be a chosen specific few little spaces that we decide upon. Sorry, I was doing a boomerang of the story then of what we were doing. Always social content. See, social content is important. One of the things we'll teach in the academy.
Yeah, as one to go into about, I'm taking on a coach to come under my brand and talking to her about being vocal on Instagram, and I'm seeing so much more of a people that they doubt their own ability, and being behind a camera, and when you watch someone start doing it more and more and you can see the confidence build, that is one thing I'll touch on, is amazing to see, because no one likes talking behind the camera. The only reason why I'm 100% comfortable doing this is because I'm sitting here at home talking to George right now, so I'm comfortable doing this. You put me in front of loads of people, I'll be like I've been on the phone with George and he's gone in a lift and he goes silent on the phone.
I can't do it. I cannot do it. Like normal everyday people could not listen to the conversations we have about whatever, even if it's just day-to-day life stuff, peds, training, bodybuilding, eating food. What did you do with the missus at the week? It doesn't matter, but people just don't get it. They just don't understand it. So when I'm in that social situation, it just the button goes and
yeah. So I was like, I remember on the photo, I was like, you're around a load of people right now, aren't you? And he was like, yeah.
I find it awkward though when I'm in an elevator and there's some fucking family of kids there and the dad's just on the phone talking absolute shit. Like I just sit there, I'm like, I don't want to hear his conversation, man. You just got in a really enclosed space with another individual. Just fuck off.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be that guy.
Or it's people that what was it? Like, for example, when I went on holiday last year and I was at the airport and there was this group of blokes behind us and they were talking overly loud about Forex trading. Like, I'm just like, geez, will you shut the it's 5 a.m. All right. I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't care that you lost £1,000 on fucking Oz v GBP. Fuck off. I don't care. you know what I mean?
On the TBJP vibes.
Yeah. Trust me.
Oh my god, man. That was a nice little one you dropped in there. That's a nice new adventure for you. You dropped in there.
What? Sorry. Oh yeah.
That's something to talk about because that's a very big move. 2022 is some serious going on.
Of course, as just a person, a human being, when you're working throughout your life and, working your jobs, like I still have a full-time job now, on the railway, and then you have your own business and it's yours. Being able to trust other people to get involved in, like George has always been the only person I could ever do something with. And then I've had a long-term client, female client, who has been around for a long time now and
proven herself.
Point blank. And she does the do. She's not even a competitor. I'm pushing her to be one because she could be.
Yeah, the potential's there, man. But it's the same thing, isn't it? Like, if someone wants to do it, they'll resonate to it.
Of course, it does. Not one of the things that has to be done. The first step, like she's never done, is a photo shoot. She's still in those early days of seeing how good she can become. She, on the side note of that, she's creating her own business that no one even knows about. She's starting her own brand, but she can't say anything on. But didn't even know she was doing it, and the amount of money she's invested in herself to do that. And I'm thinking, you're on a vibe. You're like, I can roll with this.
Yeah.
And it started with an idea that someone else actually said to me a long time ago. Is, have you thought about bringing so and so on board? And I'm like, do you know what? That's actually a potential. Like, all right, I'll think about it. And then months down the line, start piecing together, put the logo together now, and we're starting. The questionnaires are all there, and the program is starting, and people are interested. It's going to be cool because the best thing about what it's going to be is taking on more female clients. Lifestyle ladies do, I think, struggle to be coached by a male that they don't know. I've coached females, George coached females, of course, coaches have. People can see past that. Not that it's necessarily a barrier, but I don't know what it is. It's that initial.
Of course, there's a big barrier to get across there, and that is in a self-confidence thing, and also more of like a personal thing, especially in like the older females, lifestyle females. Do they want to be sending check-in pics in their underwear to you? Like, even though we understand that it's a completely confidential and a completely business, setup here, that this is completely, coach client confidentiality, it's still a barrier to get across, and not everyone is confident enough to feel okay doing that. And for some, well, I've even had it with some blokes, not just females, man. I've had it with a few blokes over the time I've been coaching, and it is a barrier you've got to work on. And I sadly cannot work with an individual. I know I've seen other coaches do it where they just go off of weight, but I cannot work with an individual because I know that I'm not giving them my full service, or I'm not able to do my job unless I can see what's going on.
Yeah.
I'll always have calls with them to try and, explain to them the reasons why we need to see check-in pictures and stuff. But
yeah,
for some people, it's just not worth it to them. And that's their own personal battle that they've got to deal with. But like you said with Danielle, they're much more confident and comfortable with another female. And you can see why.
I call it, I don't mean this is a derogatory term at all, I call it girl club. I'm not in girl club. I can't get in there.
We can't do the whole, if a man does the whole female empowerment thing, it either looks like you're taking the piss, or
it's creepy.
It just comes across, creepy. So that's something that she can niche and she can back into that we can't.
Exactly that. And that is, on a business front, it's a great move. And as much we don't talk about, business and growing, and it sounds all cheap and stuff, but it is what it is. And for the brand to grow, and it is an awesome move to bring someone on, it's going to expand, grow. I'm not even sure when you're going to even trust someone to even try and come under your name, but I know you had someone you mentioned before, and they shit the bed on you a bit.
So I offer a mentorship service already under GW.
Yeah, go into that
for coaching. And to help educate coaches, get people started up with coaching, the similar way to how I got into coaching. I had a mentor, Rob Whitfield, Team LRF, taught me the ropes, basics, got me started.
He did me too.
Did I as well. And it is something that I will never not appreciate and never not give credit to where it's due. Without his help, I wouldn't have even got the ball rolling to be where I am now. So
I wouldn't even have a logo.
Exactly. So being able to give that back again, the mentorship that I offer was to start people with coaching or educate on the areas that I specialize in, just solely them few areas that I particularly excel in. I've had people under my mentorship. I've helped them start coaching and left them on their way. I've helped people better their knowledge and carry on coaching, helped them get clients, etc. And I've not really found that person, and To a degree, probably a little bit more, like you said, you've had Danielle for a hell of a long time. You know her quite personally. She's not just a client, she's also a friend. You've built that relationship over time. Sadly, I've just not found that person to fit into the clique of GWP yet. Well, I have. He sat on the other side of the screen to me. But it's too late for that.
Yeah, it was one of them, like, because we did want, because when we first had the conversation of like starting something together, to collaborate, I'm not going to impinge on it. He's got his brand. That's him. That's his creation. I can't join GWP. Yes, it's his. And he can't join Becoming by Alexander Williams because
it would ever expect to sacrifice one or the other. So it has to be a collective.
Yeah, it has to be something together, and we've fortunately enough created something pretty awesome. And I can't even wait to when it comes to getting clothing and hoodies and stuff out on a website, and it's nothing short of exciting, and that butterfly feeling of knowing like you're going out on a limb, like you're putting something out there that, of course, all ventures have a chance of failing without a doubt, but I have the belief in it that's going to do well, and you're riding a wave, and why not?
What's the imprinted motto that Jace taught us?
Invest and grow.
Nah, but what if it works?
Invest and grow? Huh?
But what if it works?
But what if it works? He didn't tell me that.
The whole time I was starting coaching with Rob, and I was still under Jace as my coach at the time. Every time I had doubts about it, all he used to message me was, "But what if it works?" That was it. He'd never say anything more than that. Just, "But what if it works?" And that is that mindset.
Yeah.
You don't look at something and worry about if it's going to fail or if it's going to, if it could go wrong. You look at them sort of things and you find ways to minimize it. But the whole mindset going into something new is always, it's going to work because I've got belief. I don't ever commit to something if I don't wholeheartedly believe in it.
That is why it is always great to have a circle of people like I have. Like if I have a worry, it'll squish it. We had an hour-long phone call yesterday and he squashed a lot of things. Straight up, that's transparent as it is.
But it's needed.
It is needed because you can't sit there in your own head and work it out yourself. It can be a bit flustersome there. We're all human, as fucking the saying goes.
How many times have I had to speak to you about all the plates I have spinning and get them under wraps?
Yeah, we I think we mentioned this before. We have a saying. Say for example, when you got things going on in your life, like whether it's work, money, fucking girlfriends, whatever, job, we call them plates. Like plates spinning. That's the thing. And you think, like, how many plates have you got spinning at the minute? It's like, oh man, I'm on like 6 right now, and they are all going rapid.
we know our quota. Like max for me is about 8 different plates, but it depends how fast they're individually spinning. Where it sorts to go a bit.
Like I had a bunch going last year. I had a job, and then I had that going. I had the move. I was moving away from my hometown. Obviously the bodybuilding front, trying to keep up with things, trying to find a balance with things. We're trying to do motorbikes and track days and bodybuilding life and girlfriend and job, and it was like, goddamn, like, geez, I am struggling right now.
When he says keep up with things, he meant keep up with me.
Keep up with him, yeah, he does. What do you say to me? Messaged me on Instagram the other day. He was like, train like you want to be me. I had a fella message me. He was like, that's how you motivate someone. Train like you want to be me.
Trust me, that's all it is. Because if I'm doing something that I know Al's better than me at, I best believe I'm getting some fucking fish hook emojis after a comment like, yeah, that's all right. I'll chuck another plate on and you might keep up and shit like that. But it just keeps me ticking over, man. It was always the way. I was always trying to keep up with Al and all of our sessions where we trained together. We'd never like, I don't know, there was never a time we didn't go back and to each other just like, no, you're putting on a plate, I'm doing it. I'll put on a plate, you're doing it.
That's where I come up with the saying with training to call it shot for shot. Like I remember fond memory that's always imprinted there. It was incline Smith press. It was 3 plates a side, and it was always a triple drop set. Like boom, 10, drop it, 10, drop it, 10. Then we're going again, drop it 10, drop it 10. Oh my good God. And those workouts were fun, but
not productive. Not productive, granted. But
no, maybe a little bit too much volume off the bat right there on that one.
That Dubai fucking Durego style. That's it.
Oxygen plan. Because you needed oxygen for that.
Yeah, trust me. You needed a CPAP machine just to get out when you're in between sets.
Trust me, oxygen tank on standby. It was funny because we actually had a friend try and keep up with us. Or not saying that I hate to say it. You know, when you say stuff like, "Oh, try to keep up with us," but we had someone who hadn't done our style of training to jump in on a leg workout with us, and we're doing a giant set. I think it was extensions, front squats. What else was it? Do you remember the exercise it was that day?
It was the V squat.
Yeah.
Something else and the leg extension. I don't know if there's something else was before the V squat.
Front squat. There was a front squat.
Front squat, V squat, leg extension.
Yeah. And we're going in a line, like we're going in a row. Like George goes, Kieran goes, I go, did a back full. And it was funny to see someone lay on the floor, not being able to keep up. Like it was a nice moment because like, do you know what? We actually trained quite hard. Like
little pat on the back.
If I put this fucker on the floor, I can't be doing too bad.
Yeah, exactly. I do miss them days. They were fun sessions, man. They were really fun. That's the one thing I've over the bodybuilding journey has just developed. I can't train with people anymore. It's not because I train harder than everyone else or whatever. It's just because what I do simply does not apply to you. And if you want to train with me and do what I do, that's fine. But if you waste my time when I've got a specific rest time, you best believe I'm telling you, get out of my fucking way. That's my attitude now. And it really, a little bit saddens me because I can't actually, I want to do sessions with people and I'm just a bit like, but then I'm not 100%. And that angers.
Yeah, George does not like doing nothing but 100. Like I remember when we first started doing like mesocycle style training with actually timed by the minute rest periods, and I'm watching people talk to him, right? And I just see his eyes doing this. It's like, like looking at his phone time, and he's like, "Can I time this?" So he's got 40 seconds before he stops talking.
Trust me, that's what's going through my head.
And if not, he would just pick up the weight and start going if that person's still talking.
Once that timer goes, mate, you best believe I'm picking the weight up. And if they don't like it and think I'm rude, then I'm rude. I'm sorry. I'm there to do. I've got a job. I've got a job to do.
Once heavy set controls your life, you can't really come away from it.
It's just almost robotic. It's just it's just robotic. I wouldn't say the fun's been taken out of it because I still enjoy it. I just enjoy making progress. Whatever I've got to do it, like I enjoy that. It's what I get from that. So I don't care what I've got to do. But some people must look at me and think I'm a fucking psycho, man. Like I speak to the guy that owns the gym, Physique, Chris, and there's a few of us that are in there that are like my kind of style of training or the style that we've adapted now, where it's everything logbooked, timed, perfect, reps, everything. And then he's very much an old school 90s style. I don't know what I'm training, but I'll go in there on the day and I'll just fuck about. And he was a very big fucker. Like he was a heavyweight. Did quite well. I think he was coached by Eddie Abu back in the day. Mate, this fella's legs. Oh my God. Just stupid. But yeah, same thing. He just jump in, do whatever he wanted. And he just trained to exhaustion. He just trained to muscular exhaustion. And that was to him was doing the right thing. And he sees us like the new breed coming in and setting up cables and fucking cuffs this, cuff that, reverse banded, tracking everything, sitting on our phones. Like, we're not on Instagram, bro. I'm tracking.
Yeah. I'm on heavy set right now. It's like someone did a video of me once like in the gym and I'm on my phone. It's like, bro, like fair play. I might flick onto it every now and then in a workout, but I'm on there and I'm logging. That's what that is. Or I'm looking at the timer because do you have your timer set to 1 minute intervals or 2 or something like that?
It's
or always 1.
No, so I've got it set to always 2 because
Gotcha.
It's in the middle. Some of mine are 180 seconds, 3 minutes. Some of them are 1 minute, and I just bang it on. And I know that once that 2 minutes done, I've kind of got to be getting set up and get ready for the final minute to be done for like the hack squat and shit.
Yeah.
And when it's 60 seconds, I just fucking press it and look at it, and then when it hits, I just go.
See, mine's always on a minute. So when I'm on those 3 minute like heavy legs, it's like, and then it goes off my ear, and I'll go pick up my phone, press it again, and if it's not, I've got to like waddle over to my phone like to quickly tap it, and obviously once that minute goes, start getting wrapped up, and then go again. Yeah. What else can we go on to?
Well, I think that was a pretty good introduction to the academy and a little bit of a life update. General.
Anyone can message us on our new Instagram that we created, which is the Bodybuilding Prospect Academy. Lovely and like easy to spell out, because like the amount of times Instagram handles are terrible to type in because someone's already got it. Lucky enough, we got that one sorted. So you can message us on there. If you can't find that one, if you follow us, so you feel free to message us and we'll point you onto that one. And if you want to get a consult going, we can get that rolling, and you can have obviously that 1-to-1 time with that, or 1-to-2 time exactly with us. And we can go through obviously goals, prospects, where you want to go and see if this is for you.
Exactly. So the consultation link, the sign up questionnaire will be found on our link tree. There is also a link to the Bodybuilding Prospect YouTube channel as well. So go onto the Bodybuilding Prospect Academy page. The link tree is there in the bio. Click that and it will take to the necessary things you need to fill out. That will get us in contact with you to then point you into a consultation with a pair of us. And yeah, it gets rolling from there. There will be a few posts coming out over the next couple of days, finalizing dates, details, etc. Just some general hype about it. And obviously, yeah, that is the new page that is home to the Bodybuilding Prospect.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome.
So yeah, I'm going to go and smash my last session of the fat loss.
Oh,
got a nice week deload.
I have to eat, and then I've got to tick off a few things, and then it's time to go for upper 2.
Oh yeah, I've got upper 3 today. I've got you ever done the sternocostal? You know, like sternocostal flies.
Yeah.
Decline flies
every week.
Decline.
Bro, I did a chest dominated block for a year.
Have you done sternocostal presses on the cable?
I had flat press where you set it up so the moment you start pressing is from the point of contraction. Do you have that? Yeah,
it kind of similar, but the thing I've noticed, because I've got like the cables are Atlantis cables, and they're quite wide apart. And obviously, I know I'm quite wide. I'm wider than the average individual, but like there's not enough room between the cables here, and there's like a flat bench here for a barbell pressing. So I put the bench here, but my arms get pulled like fucking out rather than back.
I know the cables you're on about behind the bench.
Yeah, it's just pain in my ass. It is pain in my ass. I try and set it up, and then I feel like I'm being fucking like pulled outwards rather than down. But yeah, I've got to work that one out today. It's going to annoy me.
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw. Didn't you do? What was that video you put up the other week where like it just wouldn't move?
That was clavicular press. I did the full stack for 204 kilos.
Yeah.
As much as I love being 100%, and like I said, I will still test my ability. I will still be like, right, if I'm feeling strong, I'm going to fucking see it. And up until that point, I'd done every single like weight I'd chosen. So I was like, fuck it, I'll jump it two more plates up and see what's going on.
Nah.
My thought process was, if I can put 5 plates on an incline prime press, then surely, you know, that's 100 kilo aside. Surely I'd be able to do it on the cables. Well, I was quickly proven wrong.
So a quick message on, because I'm going surfing next week by looks of things.
Oh, whereabouts?
South Wales.
Oh, nice. Cardiff.
Around that way.
Yeah.
I don't really know where, even though my auntie lives there.
When you look at like the bottom of Wales, you got Cornwall's not that far on the other side. I think on some clear you can see each other if it's clear. Mate, sick up there.
By any means, I'm not saying I can surf, but my friend loves to go, and we're going to get it done. Spontaneous adventure.
That is very cool.
Oh.
Wait, who are you going with?
A guy called Ollie, one of the old military friends. He's now a paramedic in London.
Sick, very sick. I'm jealous, man. I said that's what me and Zoe said to you about doing a little UK getaway, so we can go surfing. We can do it. Honestly, this would be an insight, so we're going to go there for that day. I need to see footage of you trying to pop up on a board.
Yeah, it's just like
the amount of times I flipped the board and it hit me in the face. Like, just,
mate, I remember we went to Cornwall a few years ago to try some surfing, and you know they have like the beginner board, the foam ones.
Yeah.
Me and my cousin were like, no, it's actually my cousin. I'm putting the blame on him. He was like, no, we'll have the proper surfboards, right? I didn't even get up once. That was it, and I was just down. I've got the balance of, I don't know, saying that I ain't got balance.
Well, you're better than me. You saw me on the ice.
Yeah, we did all right. We did all right.
Yeah, well,
mate, that was ice skating that we're talking about. We went the other week, and good God, my shins took a battering. just
The old tibia was fucked.
mate, the fucking solulus just didn't have it in it that day.
Bad, painful.
Yeah, that's a wrap up on today with the bodybuilding prospects. Next one, we'll see if we can get another guest on. If anyone wants someone to come on they follow, then we will always shoot them a message. We are never shy by any means.
We should be tackling into or diving into the world of eating disorder and correlation between bodybuilding and eating disorders shortly. Just got to finalize a few things with the individual, the special guest that I've got in the pipeline. But I think it'd be a very good topic to go into, even if it's just us breezing. I know we can talk on it very, very well.
Oh yeah, especially after my 2018 show. Very, very bad experience. So we're going to that then.
But yeah, that's it from us today, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Bodybuilding Prospect podcast. As per usual, you can find me and Al on our Instagram handles at Team Becoming, Alexander Team Becoming.
Alexander_becoming. Sorry.
You still got the business one going?
Yeah, but that one isn't really as active as the other one. So Alexander_becoming, that's BCOMING.
So this is where it gets confusing when you got two businesses.
Yeah. The Instagram handles are a pain. And then at GW Physique. A lot easier there.
And of course, the Bodybuilding Prospect Academy. Hit it up.
Yeah.
See you later, guys.
See ya.